Hang on. Yeah, hey, Keepy. How you doing?
The hell's he doing?
I don't know.
Oh, the dog just jumped up on me.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.
Is he talking to us?
I have no idea.
Talking to the dog.
Okay. All
We're
right.
good.
Everybody ready?
Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we feel a lot like Donovan looks the longer this last Crusade thing goes on. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mubbert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Guy of Anderlecht. Protects against mad dogs and horned animals. Might be appropriate for this minute. I thought at least I saw a devil.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that would work.
Porter.
And continuing International Week here on the Indiana Jones Minute, we're joined all the way from England by our old friend Stephen Badham. Welcome back.
Hello there, boys. How's it going?
I mean, no, we're joined by Sean Connery from the film Last Crusade with Harrison Ford.
That's right. I'm here before you speaking.
That's fantastic.
Well, it's turning to something else now. I don't quite know where it's going. How are you doing?
We're doing well.
You guys give me some good minutes. You give me some good minutes. Last time I had a woman screaming as she fell down a fiery pit, being rescued by Indiana Jones, and this time I have a woman screaming in a fiery cave whilst being rescued by Indiana Jones. So
there's
like
some kind of
women
message.
screaming.
You get typecast when you do these long enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Here on out, you're getting women screaming.
Just don't give me the ant scene in the next one. What next one? What next one?
Is a screaming ant?
Probably. And one of them's probably
Screaming
female.
Okay. Well, we are here now to talk about people screaming in minute 114 of Last Crusade, which begins with Elsa watching Donovan make like the Play-Doh barbershop. And
That's exactly my note.
And it ends with Indy approaching the font with a grail.
I've got a question. Is that Donovan? His shoulders don't look like Donovan's shoulders.
I think it literally is a Play-Doh like thing.
It is. It's actually several different puppets.
Oh, really?
Well,
From the back?
Well, I can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just Elsa here, her freak out is nothing short of sublime. It's one of the best freak. I praised Willie's freakouts and Temple of Doom, but this one is just fantastic.
And yet, full recovery 12 seconds later, no screaming.
No, she's awesome. She's a strong lady.
Yeah.
Just like the look. I mean, it was like not only is it a good scream, but like just like she's got, I don't know, like more emotions than just oh no going on in her face. Like yeah.
Her acting throughout this scenes are just spectacular.
Yeah.
Did you speak about this in the last minute? That this is her fault first of all for picking the wrong Grail.
Yes.
Secondly, she picked that Grail intentionally wrongly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Good.
Yeah.
You covered
Yeah.
that. That's
She just didn't know the guy was getting it all gross on her.
actually, having watched this film last time about maybe 15 or 20 years ago, I don't think I actually noticed that she was the one who picked the Grail on purpose to poison and kill Donovan. Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah. I didn't either when I was younger and watched it.
There's a moment where she gives this little look, but that was the last minute.
Yeah.
And
we kick this stuff around a little
totally.
bit.
Yeah. And the special effects here, I think, are amazing. Like, first of all, Julian Glover had these inflatable pads on his face so that it looked like his eyes were receding into his head.
Huh.
So, for which part? Which
Oh.
which
as he
shot?
starts to
Oh, yeah,
as
they
he turn
do.
back around and look at his face, as he starts to like kind of turn into a skeleton, his eyes start to look like they're sinking into his face, and that's actually inflatable pads.
Oh, wow.
Ew.
And then they
do.
Spielberg kind of wanted this all in one shot so it wouldn't look like a guy wearing different stages of makeup. And so they made this crazy composite thing where they took 4 decaying puppets and they morphed them all into one segment of this.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I had, that it looks a little bit like the Michael Jackson black and white video.
That's funny because I had it as it looks like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That's where I thought you were going. Yeah.
Just looks like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, I have
Not
that
now.
it looks like it's not a Michael Jackson reference, but it looks exactly to me like the first Evil Dead.
Oh.
Like there are all these effects in that movie, just like things going nuts, like heads getting huge and Play-Doh-y and weird and crumbly, and yeah, it looks just like this.
Well, I think they actually took this from Willow. I think is where they got the ability to do
morphing
this shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go back a second, literally a second, to the shot from behind where the hair's growing with that amazing sound effect, which just sounds like someone tearing canvas. But is it me, or are those flames going backwards? Have they reversed some sort of shot from behind? Are they doing this in front of a back projection or something?
Oh my God, you might be right.
Oh yeah, that totally looks like they're going backwards.
So I'm wondering if this was a shot done separately or some sort of composite.
Yeah,
Because it's a lot like, I don't know if you've noticed the flag going backwards in Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's really annoys the hell out of me. Is that it's just totally reversed shot and the flag's just flying backwards. But these flames are going backwards as well, I'm sure.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, that's
But that's weird because
interesting.
she's not going backwards. Or
No,
she doesn't
right?
look like she is.
Unless
No.
she's acting it as if she's acting backwards.
Well, did they retract the hair in and therefore reverse the shot to get the hair growing out? Because that would be a much easier thing to do from a special effects point of view.
I
Yeah.
bet they did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But I
cool.
wonder if she is in her own separate shot and put in.
Well, possibly. I mean, if you look at Donovan's arm on her shoulder,
Yeah.
it's totally the wrong place. That's
It looks like it's
looks
not
like-
connected to his shoulder.
It
Yeah.
looks like the Swedish chef's arm.
It's true.
Donovan says something here that absolutely chills my soul. Is he starts screaming and he says, "What is happening?" And then if you listen really carefully with headphones on, he gets this kind of demon voice and he says, "I hate Pete." It's the creepiest
Hell,
thing.
we didn't want to tell you, Pete.
I am happy.
Yeah.
Like I've always hated Nazis, so I'm glad that the feeling is apparently mutual.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's pretty.
You know,
creepy.
I'm wondering, is is Donovan expecting Elsa to answer his "What is happening"?
Yes, he just asked.
Yeah.
Like, is that why he hasn't let her go yet? He just, no, wait. And is all that crunching, is that Donovan's hair follicles exploding?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's the hair growing so quick. It's just
Yeah.
tearing through the scalp.
Oh, and his suit ages too. That's really weird.
Yeah, it turns
Yeah,
black.
I kind of love
does
that.
that
I
happen?
love that. Oh, that's just natural.
There's a lot of
guess
stuff
so.
that we need to question in this next few seconds.
I'm gonna let it go.
When it cuts back to Donovan's first sort of deathly phase, the first time it cuts back to him,
Yeah.
it does look a little bit like Christopher Lloyd from
Oh my God, it does. Oh, and that's how we got the Back to the Future.
Oh, right.
When he opened his
It
eyes.
totally looks like Christopher Lloyd.
That's hysterical.
And I love that, like, if you look at his bottom row of teeth, one on his left
Yeah.
side is missing.
Yeah, I like
and I'm
that
wondering,
too.
so is that just like a real early kind of, like, he's just aged maybe 10 years at that point, maybe 15 years. Like, he lost one bottom tooth.
Right.
It's amazing though. The others still look nice and healthy. Like I wonder if he just had.
Yeah.
teeth don't age though, do they? I mean, there's a graveyard near where we live, and a wall fell down in the graveyard and revealed a lot of old bones and teeth fell out.
Oh my God.
And the teeth look like they were pulled yesterday, but apparently they're about 600 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Pretty
gruesome.
amazing.
Leave it to England.
You guys have been around a long time.
Well, I mean, the church dates back to the time of the Crusades. It's a 1,000-year-old church. So,
wow.
you know, so we can't. There's history everywhere. I live in a castle.
Hey, there you go.
You know, can Elsa not escape because of Donovan's rigor mortis?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Or is she just in shock? Is she just like,
Yeah.
how's this skeleton
I'm
choking me?
wondering if it's maybe. Well, yeah, but she should know. As Steven pointed out, come on, man. You know you reap what you sow. She gave him. She knew it wasn't going to be a bouquet of flowers coming out of his mouth.
Well, I mean, there's a bony hand that's quite strongly attached to her shoulder, and like it's at one point just before Indy runs over, it's kind of like up in her face, and it's just gross.
Yeah. That'd be like one of those, like when those things you have when your kids, or E.T. or Elliot had one too. Is like those little grabbers that you can pick stuff up off the ground with. It's like a little crocodile mouth or something. That's got to be how his hands feel.
Yeah. Is this? I mean, we just mentioned Thriller and stuff. Michael Jackson. Does the sight of creepy old skeletons like this, does that make anybody but me think about early MTV? Like that Greg Kinn video.
This is exactly like that. Yeah, it's a lot like that Greg Kinn video.
It seems like there was a ton of that back then, and it always creeped me out. There's like zombies and decaying corpses everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the 80s.
At one point, when it cuts back to Elsa's face, it does look very White Walker-ish. Sort of blue skin and long white hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, why does Indy save Elsa here? Is this just a reflex action, or does he sort of realize maybe he's misread her and she might be, really cares for him and has tried to help him?
I think that even as mad as he is at her and betrayed and everything, I think he still, I don't know if he still has feelings for her, but I think he's still like chivalrous enough that he wouldn't let somebody get, a gross decaying dude all over her and stuff. There's enough hero in him.
Is that written in the Code of Chivalry?
Yes. Yeah. Chapter 17.
Well, if you look at if you go to, second 15, and it's in the advanced stages of Donovan's aging, where he's just, he's kind of like a jolly old skeleton.
Yeah, he looks actually kind of cute.
Kind of Halloween.
Like, and he's kind of like, he's
kind of got a big smile. And
he's kind of, and I wonder, like, if Indy doesn't come in, quote, and save her, like, is Elsa gonna die here? Like, is she gonna be part of some skeletal explosion, or like, is it? I mean, would she be wrapped up in the, whatever it is, the wind of false Grail destinies?
Probably not.
Does Indy punch Donovan away? You see at that second 15, you see his head come into the bottom frame.
Yeah.
And he does something. You don't really see anything other than a sort of dry ice explosion.
I think it's a rucksuckle kick.
Oh, you think he kicks him?
Yeah.
You think he kicks him away?
Yeah, I think right in the rucksuckle. Like he's.
Oh, you're right.
No, I think he kicks
really?
him. Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
I'm going to the videotape.
Oh, that's totally crazy. No, he does. I think he does do something.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
He like
pushes
him or kicks him.
Yeah, like a
God, that's
Hadouken.
Amazing.
Because I always wondered, like, all I could see
like
was him. I could only see him like grab Elsa back, and I always wondered why Donovan goes flying back in the opposite direction.
It's interesting. In the script, it says that his body breaks into flames, which is interesting. Which doesn't
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no
Ben
Burt punch noise, so I guess he didn't punch him.
Well, so what? Listen, I'm serious here.
Wow.
What would be the coroner's listing as the cause of death? Would it just be like old age?
Yeah, would this like carbon date is like 700 years old or something, or would it be
how old? Like, how old is Donovan at the end of this? Is he like the same age as the Knight, or is he like 1,022?
That's a good question.
Or is he like he aged like like he's, I don't know, maybe an additional 85 years.
I'm going to put on the death certificate murder.
Murder.
Poison.
Who's the suspect?
Elsa.
Is it Yahweh or Elsa?
The ravages of time. It is weird. Like, he gets old. Like, the way the Knight put it, it'll take life away from you. So it's like, okay, just like speeding him through the rest of his natural days, but then it also takes him like through like rotting in a casket and turning mostly into dust, but not totally.
That's what I wanted to know. Like, if you pause it, say like it maybe second, second, 6 or 5, just when it starts, they're like, oh, right there is renal failure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like, and then,
You'd think like why does it stop with just like a pile of dust and some bones? Like it should like continue into like he's reincorporated into the earth and he comes back as a tree and a butterfly and a thing and
You just always say die,
A little
die.
butterfly flies up. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe what if that's what happened? That's what, remember the Nazi in the castle? And he gets shot in the little...
Oh, yeah, that was his
lone
butterfly
rose
coming
goes
out.
up. That was his butterfly. He kind of aged himself. It just...
we all have a butterfly.
But why does it age his clothes? I mean, let's go.
Yeah, that's
back to
really
that.
weird.
Really
Yeah.
confused about that.
It ages all of his clothes except for his Nazi pin.
That's creepy.
See, I thought that was because
Yeah.
it was metal.
Oh, I was thinking it was because like you can kill the Nazis as much as you want, but that stupid ideology is always going to keep coming back.
It'll persist.
Yeah.
It didn't rust because of symbolism.
And Raiders
Yeah.
God was all about, burning away that symbol and getting it out of its way.
Uh-huh.
Getting out of it, but in here it's like, oh, and by the way, and like kind of blows
Yeah.
the dust away and
Oh,
make
that's
sure you see
true.
the swastika.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
maybe
good point.
maybe Yahweh burning can't destroy enamel. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And there's no noise. There's no whoa.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what? That would have been incredible. It had the dust blown away, and it revealed the Nazi pin. And then you saw the Nazi pin burn.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I would have liked that. Yeah.
That would have been
Or
a
melt.
nice little touch.
Something,
yeah,
yeah.
or melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get hit by a train. or
Right.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like burn in the same way that it does in Raiders.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the same, the singe marks.
Yeah.
Like Gosh is like, I'm going to keep doing this until you get it. I don't know how many times you have to learn this lesson.
In that shot, the Terminator 2 shot that we're seeing here, where is that wind coming from? Is that the breath of God? Is that
You don't
don't
see
know
the
where it's
knight. He's
coming
on his
from.
hands and knees right to the side.
Or you remember Henry had that crazy strong breath in the castle. Maybe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe he's
Oh,
breathing
yeah.
from the
He
other
taught
room.
Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no? Well, he's got a bullet, so it just come out the hole in his chest.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's interesting that all of this eternal life business involves so much killing.
Well, there's the Bible for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's true. I wonder, we talked about other Grail, demises, other Grail deaths. And I'm wondering, can you guys imagine like a reverse aging one where you become a zygote?
Oh, yeah. That'd
Like
be fun.
a Benjamin Button.
Benjamin
grill.
Button. Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes it as far as this one goes.
Yeah.
Where you go all the way back and
Would you like turn into your dad?
Well, you turn back into a glint in your father's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you turn into exactly. Kind of like a little Mortal Kombat babality.
I fully expected, Pete, you to have a prediction of mine and Jerry's reactions to He Chose Poorly.
Oh, yeah. I skipped that.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it.
Okay.
It's a little, Jack Benny over here. Oh, he chose poorly. I get, kind of underplaying it, but it's good. It's fine. I don't need the knight to be devoid of personality or anything. I think it's okay.
Oh, good. Good.
So you've
Well,
used
wait
that
a
line in
minute.
real life, right?
I probably have, to be honest.
Chose poorly.
Poor.
It does.
that's good.
Let me ask you: does the knight have flat affect?
Nice 700.
Well, I mean, or it's just part of the job because he does. Or is this his idea of comedy?
Well, he's remarkably calm. Like watching this, everybody else is freaked out, and he's just kind of like, huh.
But I always think that's just this kind of stuff is just commonplace in the Middle Ages.
Right. He was probably a killing machine anyway when he was a knight.
Exactly.
Well, it also seems like he's trying to keep a poker face during all of this. Like he's not
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
Donovan that he got the wrong one, or he's not, he's kind of not interfering a little bit.
Or
Yeah.
does he know?
Maybe that's why.
Does he know? Does he know which is?
Yeah, I don't
assume
know.
he knows which is the Grail. That's a good question.
I think if his self-appointed job, he and his brothers, is to find and guard the Grail.
Unless he just happened to drink from the right one the first time, but couldn't remember which one it was. But now he's immortal, so he can drink from any of them. Maybe he did forget which one.
Oh,
it was.
that's amazing.
Oh,
so
maybe.
he gets to sample all the deaths.
So that's why he's watching so intently when both Indy and the Donovan drink out of it. Because like, wait, is that the right one? I can't remember.
I should have written
and
this
there
down.
are plates there as well, right? The platters and so is
Yeah.
the Grail a platter? Is it? just a cup. I mean, we always assume it's a cup, but there are all sorts of different shape bowls and platters there.
Well, and we've talked about in one of the earliest Grail legends, it was kind of a platter.
Right.
So I like that they've got these different choices.
There should be some Tupperware in there.
It makes me wonder if some of these are also wouldn't kill you. Like some of the other ones are okay Grails too.
I really want to see someone trying to drink water off a platter.
Yeah, no one ever chooses those. They're just too awkward.
I'm gonna go out here and just say, if we have a spread of grails with all of them are precious metals and bejeweled, and then there's one cup that's made of clay, that is the stupidest thing in the entire goddamn movie.
Is that what it's made of?
That's wood. I thought it was carved wood.
Oh, thank you.
Carved
I always
wood
thought it was
clay.
wood too.
If there's
Right,
one plain cup, amidst 50 gold and silver and beautiful platinum shining cups, and this is some kind of challenge?
Well,
you
yeah.
must choose wisely?
Because everybody's going to be so blinded by greed. They're not going to go for the little wooden. They're not going to think about, like, they're thinking.
No, you're gonna survey the grails like Indy does and discovers it in 1.5 seconds.
No, they're all thinking with their Sutter's organ. They're just thinking, I want the gold. I want the gold one.
The Sutter's organ.
But I have a note here. I've written down, that's not the cup of a carpenter. The cup of a carpenter would be made of wood. That's the cup of a potter. And when he picks it up, it makes that sort of ceramic sound, the scraping
it
sound.
does.
Yeah.
I think it's not wooden. It's like Jerry says, it's obviously the most humble cup in the entire room,
Right.
with a little bit of gold paint inside it.
Yeah, that's not a challenge. There's no big, there's this whole thing, you have to pick the right one.
Well, Donovan fell for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which is why I had a little bit of an issue with Donovan. That's why I asked you guys, is he really this blind? He's not stupid.
Not everybody's as smart as you are, Gerald.
Right.
Your mother
But
was
there's
correct.
one cup that's different. This is like the thing we do on Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same.
But
I mean, come on.
Here's a question. Would Indy have picked the right one if Elsa hadn't told him?
I kind of think so. I feel like
Of course
he's
he
zeroed
would've.
in on it already, as she's saying it wouldn't be made of gold.
Well, like literally every other one is made of some sort of precious metal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's my point. There's no, you could just walk in and say, hey, which one of these stands out?
I still think it's a little weird. We said this I think it was last time, or maybe the time, it's not Jesus's personal cup.
Right.
Like, his personality and his worldview wouldn't be reflected in what kind of cutlery and stuff the restaurant used where he had his Last Supper.
But it's the cup of a carpenter.
I guess so.
Maybe. Yeah, he didn't, like Tom said, he didn't bring his own cup with
He
him.
didn't bring his own cup to the dinner, I would think, unless that was a thing. I don't know. Maybe it was that kind of restaurant. Bring your own cup.
Yeah. But it's also kind of emblematic of Christianity, too. It's like, people were expecting a Messiah to come who was, a king or, some guy that would destroy everything. And when it was a humble carpenter, people didn't believe in him. And I think that's kind of what it's the same thing. Everybody's looking for something else, and it turns out to be what they're not expecting.
I mean, no, it totally works thematically, and oh yeah, you know what, Indy, you're right. That's the simplest, crudest, plainest cup is going to be the one.
I actually love that historical part of it, and what you say about that, Pete. The cup of a carpenter, and if I love that the Grail is clay or wooden or whatever you want to say, is sort of this unassuming cup. I love that aspect of it. I just don't like that it's presented as a challenge with 49 gilded grails around it. That's not. You don't have to choose wisely. That's all I'm saying. It's not a big thing.
It's kind of weird that you get to the cave and then there's this challenge at all. Like, why would?
Yeah.
It's kind of like all the booby traps and everything. Like,
Well,
why
that's why
would
I
you?
think the knight made these all up. Like, I think the knight came up with this idea himself.
He just wants to. Maybe he kind of wants to hold on to his job, so he doesn't want to make it too easy for people. But it seems weird. It seems like if you find the Grail, that should be it. Like, you shouldn't, or like picking the wrong Grail doesn't necessarily mean that you were the wrong guy to find it or something.
Right.
But I feel like if picking the I mean, that's what I'm so upset about here. It's like picking the wrong grail. This is a no-brainer. Like, who's gonna pick the wrong grail unless you let Elsa kill you?
Well, and I shudder. I shudder to let Jerry be right here, but I do think that even Spielberg recognized that, because you don't actually see the carpenter's grail until right when he says that's the cup of a carpenter, and even then you don't see it because he cuts these 4 or 5 grails and it's out of focus behind another one, so you still don't see it right away.
So
it's true.
This feeds into one of the things I was going to say about this shot. From the point that they turn around, and when the knight addresses them, to the point that all the way through to when Indy turns around to go towards the font, it's a single take with some amazing focus pulling work going on, because they cut from across the room all the way over to the first cup, to the back cup, up to Indy's face, then pull back again. It's a really good shot.
My God, I never noticed that before. That's incredible. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah,
the whole thing's just single shot with Indy and Elsa in focus, tracks across, pushes in, dollies in to the cup. Indy's face first. I'm just watching it and narrating as I go.
Yeah.
Then pans down across to the first cup, then across, focuses on the second cup as Indy picks it up, then back up to Elsa's face.
Yeah.
And then across to Indy's face as well.
Yeah.
That's like about 6 focus pulls, which is a hell of a job to do.
Yeah.
But I love this shot, and I love the fact that you discover that the Holy Grail is just this, this humble grail. That I love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be, I want to be clear. I love that. I think that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
Do we see all the other cups though? I mean, there might be others there. But...
Oh yeah.
I feel like there is at least one other one that's not totally ostentatious and everything. I think there's one that you see in
if
there.
there is one, I haven't seen it.
A big gulp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jesus, he's got the old mini gulp.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. They do pull another psych on you, the old classic Last Crusade psych, where, as you guys were saying, they focus in on like this one goblet that's like jewel laden, like these big ruby orbs encrusted.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. It makes you think. You're like, oh yeah, that's it. Like it taps into your own avarice.
More beautiful
Oh,
than I
that's gotta
imagined.
be Jesus. Give me that one.
Yeah.
And the one next to it is like silver and ordained with like lattice work.
Mm-hmm.
And the one to the left is gold, and the one next to the regular carpenter's cup is gold.
Well, the carpenter's cup actually looks like it's got gold inside too.
It does.
It
the next minute it's glowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so I don't know if it's as easy as you make out, Jer.
Oh, come on now, Pete. Come on.
Don't get him riled
the
up.
thing...
He made his point. Don't let him get... Oh, he's going again. God.
I'm sorry.
Also,
he's going again.
When you pick up a cup or a mug, do you put your thumb on the rim?
Just so no one else will use it. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. No one else will.
Where's that hand been?
That's hilarious. It's been all over Donovan. Ew.
I love the look that Indy gives to the knight as he's heading over to the font, where it's kind of like, you're not going to give me a hint, are you?
Yeah.
You're not going to let me know if I'm about to kill myself.
Yeah, I love that. And the knight's just completely poker faced.
Yeah. Oh.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I see. Is that what he's looking? He's like, I kind of. I don't know. He almost seems to be like defiant, but not happy about it.
Well, he's like barreling through this. He's like, okay, I got a barrel. Here I go.
Yeah.
I made a leap of faith before, and that worked out, so this should be okay too, hopefully.
And it's like he looks at the knight and he's like, yeah, I know what you're thinking. What are you thinking?
You chose wisely.
Yeah. Oh, did I? Oh, sweet. Okay, good. Was there anything else for, what is this, 114? Or do we need to hear from anybody else who's not here, a frequent contributor to the show from far away who has to communicate over...
why don't you just do it?
Okay. This coming in from Professor Christy Porter. I think Tom's the smartest guy on the show, and you all can suck it. What do we think of that?
What do we think of that?
My vote's going on Pete.
Missive the same.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good. That was a false Grail voice, Jerry. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, do we have to beep again?
Only if you want, Peter. Only if you want. Where does the wind come from?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we
good
are.
question. Yeah.
I mean, that night you must have some indigestion going on after all those years. So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe that was what the noise of the hair growing was.
Maybe there's an
Ew.
air duct that goes from the Breath of God challenge that also just sort of filters in here.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's. I think that's a Yahweh nudge. I think Yahweh put like Michael the Archangel, like, okay, you go get behind Donovan and kneel down. I'm gonna push him over you.
Jerks. Well, Stephen, thank you for joining us today. This has been a lot of fun.
That's not a problem.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Connery. Mr. Connery, could you tell people where they can find you online and find out what you're up to?
Well, I run a theatre company called Illyria, and we tour across the whole of the UK doing outdoor theatre performances. And this year we're doing The Adventures of Dr. Dolittle, The Merchant of Venice, The Hound of the Baskervilles, and The Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, awesome.
So if anyone wants to come along to a show, you can go to Illyria, which is ILLYRIA, illyria.co.uk. And you can book tickets for shows across the whole of the UK and Northern Ireland and Holland.
Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
it is.
And everybody else, please come back here tomorrow for minute 115 of Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
So I've got a thing that I'm just going to say as your music plays out. Indy says, there's only one way to find out. And that should be to force Elsa to drink the water.
Oh.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
There's two other people there.
Yeah.
Sacrifice them first.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I'm surprised they don't just give it to Marcus. Be like, nah, you won't matter.
Well, it's probably the right one.
Marcus!
Get in here.
No, we really need you.
I am rather thirsty.